Have you ever had that strange feeling that your life isn't quite what it could be? As if something were missing between what you desire and what you actually experience? If so, you're not alone. Millions of people live trapped in this limbo between their dreams and their current reality. But what if I told you that this separation is merely an illusion created by your own brain? Michael Talbot, in his revolutionary work, The Holographic Universe, revealed a truth that is completely transforming our understanding of reality. A truth so profound that the most advanced quantum physicists, neuroscientists, and consciousness researchers are only beginning to understand its implications. A truth that, once correctly understood, can literally transform your ability to create the reality you desire. I'm going to share 3 transformative holographic techniques that Talbot only hinted at in his books. Techniques that can literally reprogram the matrix of your personal reality. The third is so powerful that very few have the courage to apply it consistently. First, it's crucial to understand what Talbot really discovered. Inspired by the works of physicist David Bohm and neuroscientist Carl Pribram, Talbot proposed that the entire universe functions like a gigantic hologram. In a traditional hologram, each fragment, no matter how small, contains the information of the complete image. Similarly, Talbot suggested that each part of the universe contains, encoded within it, the totality of information of the whole. But here's the deepest revelation. Your consciousness isn't merely observing this hologram, it's an active part in creating it. You aren't simply experiencing reality. You're continuously participating in its creation at every moment. Think of your consciousness as a quantum projector. The world you see out there is actually a holographic reflection of your deepest mental, emotional, and energetic patterns. The implications of this are extraordinary. If you fundamentally change these internal patterns, external reality will necessarily reorganize itself to reflect that change. Quantum physics confirms this at the subatomic level. The famous double-slit experiment demonstrated that particles exist as waves of possibility until they are observed. In other words, it's the very act of observation that collapses the wave function and creates a defined reality. Extrapolating to macro reality, this suggests that your consciousness is literally selecting a specific version of reality from infinite possibilities. But here's the problem. Most people are creating unconsciously, allowing automatic patterns of thought and emotion, often installed in childhood, to project their realities by default. It's like owning a quantum supercomputer and only using it to play solitaire. Talbot showed us that we can take a much more active and conscious role in the creative process of reality. So, how can you begin to use this holographic understanding to consciously manifest what you desire? Here are 3 transformative techniques that can reprogram your reality from the most fundamental level. The first technique was holographic coherence. In a hologram, the clarity of the image directly depends on the coherence of the laser light used to create it. Similarly, the clarity with which your desired reality manifests depends on the coherence of your mental and emotional fields. To practice holographic coherence, identify a specific goal or desire. Now, instead of just visualizing it occasionally, as many superficial manifestation techniques would suggest, you need to create a mental laser, an absolutely clear and stable focus. Begin with dedicating VSE minutes in the morning and VSE minutes before sleeping to enter a deep meditative state. Breathe deeply for UXI minute, allowing your mind to calm down. Now, visualize your desire not as something distant in the future, but as your current reality, in this moment. Here's the crucial element that most people miss. You must eliminate all internal contradiction. Any doubt, fear, or limiting belief create as interference patterns in your hologram, resulting in a distorted or incomplete manifestation. Consciously identify any contradictory thoughts that arise. This is impossible. I don't deserve this. This has never worked before, and deliberately replace them with your desired truth. With consistent practice, you'll create a coherence field so powerful that external reality will have no choice but to reorganize itself to correspond with it. Quantum physics calls this quantum tunneling, when a particle instantly crosses an apparently impenetrable barrier. Your desired reality can literally tunnel into your present experience through a coherent consciousness field. The second technique was unified field resonance. Talbot suggested, based on Bohm's theories, that there exists an implicate order, a deeper level of reality where everything is unified in a single continuous field. At this level, There is no separation between you and what you want to manifest. Separation is an illusion created by our fragmented mode of perception. To access this unified field, you need to fundamentally alter your vibrational state. Begin by practicing what researchers at the HeartMath Institute call heart coherence, a measurable physiological state where the heart, brain, and nervous system function in perfect synchrony. Place your hand over your heart and deliberately evoke a genuine feeling of gratitude or unconditional love for complete minutes. Don't just think about these emotions, but really feel them flowing through every cell of your body. Studies show that this simple exercise creates a coherent electromagnetic field around the body that can be measured several meters away. Once this heart coherence is established, consciously connect this elevated emotional state with the reality you want to create. Feel as if your desire is already fulfilled now, experiencing anticipatory gratitude for its manifestation. This isn't pretending, it's vibrationally tuning into a version of reality that already exists in the unified field. Quantum physicists call this quantum entanglement, when particles that have been connected remain instantly correlated, no matter the distance separating them. Through unified field resonance, you are literally entangling yourself with the version of reality you want to experience. Now, the third and most powerful technique, holographic identity recalibration. This is the technique that few have the courage to apply consistently, as it requires completely abandoning who you think you are. In Talbot's holographic model, your current identity is merely an interference pattern, a temporary construct without inherent substance. Most manifestation techniques fail because they try to create external changes while keeping the same internal identity intact. It's like trying to project a different movie without changing the film in the projector. Holographic identity recalibration involves literally doing to your current self and being reborn as the self who already lives the desired reality. This goes far beyond affirmations or visualizations. It's a complete ontological transformation. To implement this technique, create a daily 20-minute ritual where you deliberately dismantle your current identity. Sit in a quiet space and repeatedly ask, "Who am I?" Question each answer that arises. Is this really what I am, or just a temporary construct? Continue this questioning until you feel an expansion, a space of pure consciousness beyond all limited identities. From this empty space, allow the identity that naturally lives the reality you desire to spontaneously emerge. Don't artificially construct it. Let it reveal itself. For the next 30 days, commit to consistently living from this new holographic identity. This isn't role-playing. It's recognizing that all identities are equally constructs of consciousness, and you're simply choosing one that aligns with your deepest desiris. Quantum physicist John Wheeler suggested that we live in a participatory universe, where the observer and the observed are intrinsically connected. Through holographic identity recalibration, you're consciously choosing which observer to be, and therefore which reality to observe. Consistent application of these three holographic techniques can create changes that seem miraculous to conventional eyes. People who have mastered them report profound transformations in all areas of life, from healing incurable health conditions to seemingly impossible manifestations of financial abundance, extraordinary relationships, and revolutionary creative achievements. Julia, a 42-year-old artist, had been financially struggling for decades, despite her immense talent. After applying these techniques for just 20 days, she reports, "It was as if an invisible field around me had reconfigured itself. People who had never noticed my work began seeking me out." He received 3 gallery offers in the same week, after years of rejection. The change wasn't gradual. It was like crossing a portal into a completely different reality. Marcus, a 36-year-old executive, suffered from chronic hypertension and burnout. "I was taking 3 different medications and still my doctors were concerned," he shares. "After 3 months practicing especially holographic identity recalibration, my blood pressure completely normalized. My doctor was perplexed. But the most surprising thing was how professional opportunities perfectly aligned with my deepest values began appearing out of nowhere." Perhaps you're thinking, this sounds powerful, but will it really work for me? This is a natural question, but it reveals precisely the kind of doubt pattern that creates interference in your personal hologram. Doubt functions like a misaligned laser, producing a diffuse or distorted image. Quantum physicists studying the effects of the observer on subatomic systems have discovered something remarkable. The researchers' expectation subtly influences the experimental results. Similarly, your expectation about the effectiveness of these techniques will literally influence your results. The most productive approach is what scientists call open skepticism, keeping an open mind while methodically testing. Commit to practicing these techniques diligently for at least 12 days before judging their effectiveness. You aren't asking the universe to change. You're changing how you interact with the universal holographic field. An important aspect to consider: in Talbot's holographic model, time isn't linear as we usually perceive it. Used as all the information of a hologram is contained in each fragment, all of time exists simultaneously in the unified field. This means that the future version of you who has already fulfilled your desiris exists now. This isn't just an abstract philosophical idea. Physicist John Archibald Wheeler proposed the famous delayed choice experiment, which demonstrated that decisions made in the present can apparently influence events that have already occurred in the past. In the holographic model, you aren't so much creating a new reality, but tuning into a version of reality that already exists. This understanding offers a much more relaxed approach to manifestation. Instead of the agitated pressure of trying to make something happen in the future, you simply align yourself with a version of reality that already contains what you desire. It's like adjusting the dial of a radio to a station that's already broadcasting, rather than trying to create the music from scratch. Implementing these holographic techniques isn't just about manifesting specific external results. It's about recognizing and consciously inhabiting the fluid, interconnected, and participatory nature of reality that Michael Talbot so eloquently described. At the deepest level, what you're really doing is awakening to the fundamental truth of who you are, not a separate object in an indifferent universe, but a center of creative consciousness within a living holographic cosmos. You aren't manipulating reality from outside. You're consciously participating in its creation from within. Now let's talk about how to implement these techniques practically in your daily life. The ideal approach is to create a 12 day holographic protocol. Start by dedicating 20 minutes every morning to your practice. Divide this time equally: 20 minutes for holographic coherence, another 20 minutes for unified field resonance, and the final 20 minutes for holographic identity recalibration. Throughout your day, set 3 simple reminders on your phone. When they go off, take a brief pause to reconnect with your coherence field. This takes just a few seconds, but keeps the process active. When facing challenging situations, pause for a moment and ask yourself, how would the version of me who already lives my desired reality respond to this situation? This simple question can completely change your perspective and decisions. In the evening, before sleeping, set aside another 20 minutes. During the first 20 minutes, review the synchronicities and evidence of change you noticed during the day. In the final 20 minutes, intensify the practice of the technique that resonated most with you that specific day. This nighttime practice is especially powerful because your mind is naturally entering alpha and theta states, becoming more receptive to reprogramming. For those who want to deepen this practice, consider keeping a holographic reality journal. Document your experiences daily. Pay special attention to unexplainable synchronicities related to your desiris. Notice subtle changes in how people respond to you. Write down new ideas or inspirations that emerge spontaneously without conscious effort. And don't forget to record your vivid dreams, especially those that seem to reflect or anticipate changes in your waking reality. Don't underestimate the power of consistency. A common laser and common light contain the same type of photons. The only difference is that in the laser, the photons are coherently aligned, all vibrating in perfect synchrony. It's this coherence that gives the laser its extraordinary power. Similarly, it's the consistent application of these techniques that transforms a casual spiritual practice into a potent reality creation tool. After 12 days of this protocol, you'll likely notice subtle but profound changes in how reality responds to you. Meaningful synchronicities will increase. Opportunities aligned with your deepest desiris will begin to appear coincidentally. Long-standing blockages will begin to dissolve without apparent effort on your part. An important warning: as you begin to experience the power of these techniques, there may be a temptation to use them primarily for immediate materialistic gains. While there's nothing inherently wrong with manifesting prosperity or success, more advanced practitioners discover that the most powerful approach is to align your desiris with broader purposes that benefit the greater holographic whole. Remember, in a truly holographic universe, we're all intrinsically interconnected. What you create for yourself, you create for the whole. This understanding naturally cultivates a wiser and more compassionate approach to manifestation. As Michael Talbot wrote, if the holographic conception of reality becomes more than just a revolutionary theory, if it indeed becomes an established scientific fact, its implications will be enormous. Our normal worldview assumes an objective reality independent of our perception. But in a holographic reality, we are all active participants, forging the creation of experience at every moment. The question isn't whether these holographic techniques work. Quantum physics, advanced neuroscience, and countless personal experiences confirm their effects. The real question is, are you ready to consciously assume your role as a creator within the holographic universe? The reality you desire isn't somewhere distant in the future. According to Talbot's holographic model, it already exists as a possibility in the unified field, waiting for you to tune your consciousness to it. Through holographic coherence, unified field resonance, and holographic identity recalibration, you aren't so much creating something new, but recognizing and inhabiting what, at a deeper level, already is. The invitation is made. The holographic universe awaits your conscious participation. The reality you most deeply desire already exists as a possibility. The question now is, are you ready to tune into it?